All right, welcome back. We had some savage price action in the past 24 hours. Up, down, up, down. Where are we going? So I'll break down the chart again today. Hopefully we can find an edge moving forward. Also, I'll break down the move from yesterday that we talked about, the ascending triangle. We had a false breakout and how I made those calls on Twitter if you're following me on Crypto Rolly. All right, and my name is Crypto Rolly, the crypto watch that never stops. This is live technical analysis, price predictions, and trading. Remember, this is not financial advice. Do your own research, trade at your own risk. Jumping into the market, we got over 1.5 billion real volume on Bitcoin. We've had a minor pullback, nothing too scary. Pullback across the board on most major coins here. XRP is actually up 6% still on the past 24 hours. Looking good for XRP. I think XRP was lagging behind. All the other coins had pumped and XRP was still going sideways, and finally, it followed up. Usually these guys take turns pumping, okay? So the crypto fear and greed index is at a 65. We're at a high for the past few months. I would say this is definitely the high. So are we getting too greedy? We're getting close, guys. This might start to signal the top of this rally. If we get a pullback, it doesn't mean doomsday. It doesn't mean bear market. It just means corrections are normal, and some of this greed needs to get kicked out. We need to come back to reality, possibly. Who knows? We'll see. Less than 90 days. We got 89 days to the block halving. So we've seen a lot of FOMO or hype around the halving. Could have been, why the price has increased this past month, okay? And remember, guys, usually this is a buy the rumor, sell the news type thing. Typically leading up right before the halving, there will be a sell-off. And then after the halving, we could start seeing another run-up, okay? That's just what happened in the past. And then I saw today Bitcoin futures open interest on Bakkt touches new all-time high again. And this is cool to see that Bakkt has, more interest, because Bakkt is the big institutional futures platform that is supported by ICE, the people that own the New York Stock Exchange. They have a collaboration with Starbucks. So this is good to see that there's more interest in Bakkt. But also I wanted to note, I was talking about how Bakkt's open interest is at an all-time high, and how we've also seen an increase in CME Bitcoin futures open interest. And it was saying, so we're here on the CME open interest chart here, and the last time we were, around this area, but even higher, we were like at a top, was July 19th. So I had to go back to my chart and see what happened July 19th. Where were we? This is where we were. This is where the CME open interest was at its highest. So, are we going to see a sell-off? Does the open interest mean that people are ready to short again? I don't know. Maybe they're interested in longing. Maybe they saw that we broke 10K and the halving's coming and they want to, FOMO into a long position. Possibly. But let's also remember when CME opened back in December 2017, what did the institutions do immediately? They shorted Bitcoin right from the start. They got involved because they wanted to short this parabolic move. And then again, this open interest was the highest at this point. So seeing the open interest climbing again makes me think that possibly this rally is due for a correction. Just a hypothesis. I don't know. You could draw your own conclusions. This is not financial advice, right? All right, so real quick, let's take a look at some horizontals. And also, we're going to break down what happened last night. And we'll also do our usual breakdown, okay? So, looking at our horizontals, let's pull these guys up. We can see that 9600, this green horizontal, has been the most interesting one of all to me, because we held it as support here, formed a bit of a descending triangle. This was the bottom support horizontal. Once this broke, There was a big dump there, and then we came back up with the China pump, hit resistance, dumped again. So then when we came up here, this was when we were down here, this was my target because of that previous action. We did hit resistance. We came down, tested the top of this wick here, and we bounced, and we broke that, and then we kind of tested as support again, and we moved our way up. This 9600 area is where I want to, if we do get a pullback, I would love to see us form some type of support in this region here, whether we consolidate sideways, whatever we do, I want to see this hold. If we start breaking beneath it, I'm going to be a little bit more worried, okay? But ultimately, if we hold above the weekly 21 EMA, I still feel like we're in a bull cycle, and we'll get to that down the road. So also looking at our horizontals, we can draw a horizontal from the top of this wick, where the China pump, the top of the wick, and we can see that it also governs some price action back here. You had the candle bodies having a hard time closing above it here, and then you had came up, hit resistance, and then it broke it, and then it was support, broke beneath it, came up. You know, you can see there was a lot of price action in this range here. So I had drawn this horizontal, which also coincides with the top of that wick. And what do you know? We are hitting resistance again, all right? So could we possibly, oh, where did everything go? Okay, could we possibly come back down to test this horizontal? This is coming in around 98.50. Okay, so if we do start coming down, that would be the next major horizontal support. And that's also, I found that using the previous price action, you can see that these wicks came down, and we're using it as support here, and you even had this resistance here with this wick, okay? So that's how I found that one. And we can see that it acted as support here and resistance here. So 98.60 would be the next level, and then 95.50 to 9600. However, if we are able to break above, then our next horizontal up is coming around 10,870 using the top of these candles here, okay? So that could be the next short-term target if we are able to break above. I say 10,870-ish would be the next target. And if we go to our weekly and we use the candle body closes on the weekly here, and you draw a horizontal, this is coming in around 11,560, 11,600. That's where I got my target from yesterday. So we're using horizontals to find these targets. And also, if we come up to test this, you know, I don't think it would be immediately today. So maybe in a day or two, if we continue bullish, you're going to meet this downward trend line coming from 20K to 14K. So we might end up hitting it right around here. And I do believe we will see resistance on the first attempt. Now, if we are able to break above this, that's super, super bullish. We might make an attempt at 20K. You know, could be clear skies from there. So one level at a time. Right now, I'm still focused on this right here. Let's see if we can get above this guy. We'll talk about 10,870. Otherwise, 9,800. All right. Now, let's go over to the ascending triangle that we talked about yesterday and how that played out last night. Okay, so let me switch over to the Coinbase chart real quick. All right, perfect. We'll go down to the 1 hour. So yesterday we were looking at an ascending triangle, and we were probably somewhere in this region at that time. I had drawn a horizontal here because we had the top of the wick, and I could see that the candle bodies were having a hard time closing above. You can see that we went for it and then wicked back down. So this is the wick and this is the candle body. And you can see that the candle bodies never closed over there. And at the same time, you had this uptrend here. So that forms an ascending triangle, which is a bullish pattern, especially in a bull trend. We were able to close the candle above it. We even back tested it as support. That was good. We broke out, retested as support, had a bounce. Everything was looking good. We came up to what, 10,000, This is 480, 10,500. I know on BitMEX it got even further past 10,500. And I was like, all right, if we break, let me go over to the BitMEX chart real quick, because the wicks are a little different from Bitstamp to BitMEX and Coinbase. So let me pull up. So we went up to what? 532 on BitMEX. And the reason I wanted to show BitMEX real quick was because we have this wick here on BitMEX going all the way to 10,584. And, BitMEX, you can short, long, it's a futures margin trading platform. So I was saying if we do break 584, I think we'll have a lot of short liquidations roll in. A lot of shorts that have either their liquidation right above here or stops, what have you. So every time they get liquidated or stopped out of a short, they automatically have to basically buy back into BTC, which starts pushing the price up, and it starts this like avalanche type, avalanche, but we're going up. I don't know why I can't find the right word, but you get what I'm saying. So it just triggers one after another, and that's what you would call a short squeeze, okay? So we did not break the top. We came to 532. This is 584. Basically, I think there were some bears who just had some serious sells right in here, and they were not about to let that happen. Now, if we do break this level here, I think we will get a major pump, okay? We'll have to see when the time comes, all right? So anyways, that's why I was thinking 584, we're taking off. But going back to my Coinbase chart and going down back to the 1 hour, we came up here, but there was very low volume. If you can see down here, the volume was super low. And then we just had a dump. We had larger sell volume come in than we had that whole way up, okay? So when that happened, we were down here. I said, okay, guys, if we break back beneath 10,400, this ascending triangle formation is invalidated. It's a false breakout on low volume. So basically what happens sometimes, you have a formation, you see the breakout, but there's no volume to follow up. And when this happens, sometimes you get a rejection and it's a false breakout. And then if you break beneath the original breakout line, it often goes the opposite direction pretty hard. And that is exactly what happened. We broke back beneath 10,400 and we dumped down all the way to 10,100 area, okay? So that's explaining that in case you see this down the road. And then, to everyone's surprise, we pumped back up. We surpassed this top right here. We had a new yearly high on BitMEX, and we came up to this. Oh, this is Coinbase. But yeah, we surpassed this high, but we did not break that 10,584 on BitMEX. So you didn't see the liquidations roll in on shorts, but we did get rid of a bunch of shorts that might have, FOMO'd in here. You wreck the shorts and then come back down, wrecking the longs all over again. This is just normal BTC action. Moves pretty quick, okay? So after we pumped and then had a solid wick down, it kind of felt like, all right, we're going to keep continuing down, but we're holding support here. You can see top of this candle here, we had this pump here, and this is acting as horizontal support. We can even just draw a quick little line here. And you can see that we're maintaining above that. But if we start breaking beneath, we're going to start looking at levels here, all right? So we are in a sticky situation. So let's break down the chart and see what we can see. All right. Let's go back to the Bitstamp chart. Hit that like, subscribe, tick the bell for notifications. All right. Let's go to our 4-hour chart. I think we are done with the drawing tools. I've shown you the levels to look at. So let's pull out our usual indicators. We got the EMA, MAs. So right now we're bouncing between the blue 10 simple coming in at 10,300. That will be your resistance on the 4-hour. And the yellow 21 EMA is acting as support at 10,184. If we get a 4-hour candle close beneath this or above that, I'll look for further momentum in that direction. A close above here, we might make another attempt up. Close beneath here. Your next support is going to be 99.70, the 50 EMA on the 4-hour. And so on and so forth. Okay, you can see that these will act as supports moving forward if we do continue to fall. Moving on, looking at our Bollinger Bands, you can see the middle BB is acting as support here. So also a close beneath the 4-hour close. You can see how the wicks come beneath this middle BB, but end up the body closes above, so that that could fake you out. So this is why we wait for the close. So if this candle body closes beneath it, that could be a signal for more downward action, but as of now you can see it's still holding as support. Okay, Ichimoku cloud is using the blue conversion line as support, and then if we do break beneath your pink baseline is coming at 97.87, and you also have this green Ichimoku cloud support system here. Let's take a look at our stochastics. The stochastics are falling, but in a bull rally, stochastics crossing down are not as effective of a signal as when they cross up. So, we'll take this with a grain of salt. This is not the holy grail of indicators at the moment, but I do see some clear bearish divergence right here. You have a top, or you have a higher high on our price, but on the RSI you have a high and then a lower high. Okay, and I've seen this on other coins like Ethereum as well. So is this the beginning of the correction? I don't know. I mean, honestly, after that wick and then coming down, I thought that could have been it for us, but we're still holding support, so we will see. The daily candle will close in about an hour or so, so maybe we'll get some more clarity with that daily close. Let's go to the 12-hour. 12-hour, you also have bearish divergence on the RSI, high, higher high, high, lower high, and the RSI is coming down, but it might cross back up if we get a pump. So, this can change depending on the price action. Again, crosses down during a bull rally, not the best signal. Okay, crosses up, look at that signal, boom. Moving on, Ichimoku clouds, you have your support coming down at 97.87. All right, and on our Bollinger Bands, same area, 98.58, middle BB, but we still are maintaining the bullish zone on the Bollinger Bands, and we did hit our resistance at the top here. The top resistance is at 10,536, so we came up and tested that, and we were getting rejected from it. And our moving averages, the 10 simple is acting as support right now. So if we do get a 12-hour close, which we'll also we'll get this next 12-hour candle in the next hour when we get the daily candle. So if we close beneath, where's our support? It says 10,104. If the 12-hour closes beneath 10,104, your next level will be 98.70. Yellow 21 EMA. And I felt like I've said this a few times, but you can also see how there was support here. So the next level down would make sense somewhere in this area possibly. And then if we continue breaking, you can use your moving averages to find your supports. Okay, they usually like to bounce between these guys. Let's go to the daily. On the daily, we're still above the 10 simple. You can see support, temporary support, bounce off the yellow 21 EMA, resistance, broke above it, support. So if we do come down again, we'll try and see if it holds a support once again, coming in at 9,900. And your yellow 21 EMA, the next level of support is going to be 95.53. Hold on. All right, it's doing it again. You know what? Next video, I think I'm going to try maybe a different browser. I've been using the Brave browser because I like collecting my free Bakkt tokens. but I don't know why TradingView does this only while I'm streaming. So maybe we'll try a different browser like Chrome or what have you and see if we can fix this problem. I can try and bounce between charts, see if that fixes it, but it's not. Let's refresh it and we'll see if that fixes. Oh, you know, hey, that's what happens when you do these live. But I'd rather do these live, you know. If I spend 2 hours editing, you know, by the time I post it, like it doesn't even matter sometimes, okay? So let's go back to the daily. And we'll go to our moving averages. So yeah, also we see that the 50 EMA is crossing above the pink 200 simple here. It's good to see that the moving averages are moving above the pink 200 simple. And this pink 200 simple moving average on the daily was an important level for us to break to also talk about a bull scenario. And this is coming down at 88.67. So if we do get a savage drop, I would also like to see this hold. I know I said 9,600 needs to hold, but you know, as long as we stay above this one, the pink 200 simple at 88.67, we can still argue a bull market, okay? Just to keep that in mind. And I like how it's flattening out. So if we continue moving up, this will eventually start gliding to the upside. Let's move on to our Bollinger Bands. Bollinger Bands, we've been just hitting resistance, resistance, resistance along the way. And, you know, if we get a rejection, your middle BB down here is at 95.20. And this will continue moving up. So I would say on the next daily candle, this will move up probably to 9,600. Okay. Ichimoku clouds. Ichimoku cloud. Your support's way down here, and we've talked about how, you know, the price doesn't like to get too far away from the supports. You can see like down here we had this big dump off, and then we ended up coming to meet the blue conversion line here. We had this huge run up here, but came back down to meet it. You know, here pretty much came back, kind of acts like a magnet, and it is pretty far separated. So this is at 93.76 on the daily. But the good news, we do have a green cloud forming on the daily, and this is good to see, and it will probably continue to widen as the price moves either in this area sideways or up. Our stochastics looking to cross down, but as we said on the 4-hour, 12-hour, not the best signal, but we will keep that in mind, okay? And do we have bearish divergence? Slightly, but you know, I can't really call this a top on the daily, not yet, okay? So we'll have to see how this plays out. I mean, by end of day, you know, things can change. The price seems to be pushing up as we speak. Let's go to the weekly. The weekly, the Stokes are still riding to the top. Plenty of room to go. Your RSI is still looking nice. We hit the top of the Ichimoku cloud resistance, so that was, you know, it was good to see that we went all the way to the top. I mean, great to see. But we did hit the resistance at the top of the cloud, coming in at 10,450. If we get a rejection, the bottom of the cloud is at 86.83. And looking at the blue, this was a bearish cross, but I do like how now they're tilted up. So if this blue conversion line can end up crossing back above the pink simple, that will be a bullish cross on the weekly Ichimokus, okay? The Bollinger Bands, we did hit the top resistance, and your middle BB supports at 83.53, so we could form a range here. You know, if we end up forming a range here, this could tighten up possibly and then get a major move next. We'll have to see how that plays out. And the weekly 21 EMA, you know, we're well above it. It's at 86.69. As long as we're above it, we're in a bull market. Beneath it, bear market. So if we do come down and end up testing it, we do want to see that hold, maybe a nice bounce. And the next step in bullish moving average movement. I don't know what I'm trying to say. But if we can get the blue 10 simple to cross back above the 21 EMA, that will be a nice bullish cross on the weekly. All right. So I think that's that. One final thing I said yesterday, but we'll look at it again, is we're looking at a possible cross up on the monthly stochastics. Looking like it might happen soon here. So we'll have to see what happens. Okay, guys? Let's break down the Heikin Ashies and we'll get out of here. Heikin Ashi on the monthly. Bullish. We saw how we had this monthly reversal candle, and now this month is looking good. I mean, if we can just get a few more months like that, I mean, I would imagine price would try to hit 20K in the next few months. We'll have to see. This was quite the rally here. Heikin Ashi is a great trending candle. You can see when they turn one way or the other, they last for a while. Weekly, bullish. And you can use, if you're using, if you're spot trading, just buying spot and holding, you can use these large time frame Heikin Ashi candles to determine, like if you had bought it here, you would have held all the way till here. That would have been a great way to, know how long to hold, So had you bought here, you would still be holding as well, okay? That's just one thing you could do. 3-day bullish. 1 day, bullish, 12-hour, starting to form some indecisions, okay? But that's kind of obvious after what's happened in the past day. The 4-hour is bearish, but it's starting to close up. So do we get a candle like this on the next one? Possibly, all right? So we'll have to see what happens. Price moves fast. What I say now can drastically change in the next 4 hours or so. So I hope that watching these videos helps you identify trends or pattern formations like the ascending triangle. Different indicators you can use so that until next video, you'll know what to do, hopefully. Okay, guys? Thanks for watching. Hit the like. This is Crypto Rolly, and we will dude, I've been so tongue-tied today. We will see you tomorrow.